TGIF edition, Breakfast Central. Thank you so much for joining us. It's time for us to let you in and let you know what the latest stories are from Nigeria and outside Nigeria. My name is Joe Hansen. Good morning. Olive.
Definitely our favorite day of the week. It's a rainy Friday morning in Lagos. Coming to work this morning is a Herculean task. People like Benga Borowa should be thanking us every day that we're able to go through the challenges of the intense rain and flood, to be here to, co-host with him. Or else, you have to do the show alone. But we do what we have to do for love.
Your body is not anchored to the island. You can always move.
No, my body is anchored to the island. I've already paid house rent. Well, I've not actually paid, in case my papa is watching. You're welcome to Breakfast Central. I am Olive, MOD, and for the next 3 hours, we're looking at very important conversations around the country, some of the latest happenings, and there's a number that I know you would not like to miss. We'll tease what these conversations are in a moment. You're welcome.
Benga Borowa, welcome to Friday edition of Breakfast Central TGIF. And for those that have been following the World Cup enthusiastically like us, well, Morocco said they're not playing for Africa. Well, they lost, so I hope they lost for Morocco and not Africa. On that note, I would like to say bonjour le merci
to
my fellow...
What is le merci?
Bonjour. We are French this morning.
Okay.
And we celebrate Kylian Mbappe.
Okay.
Yes.
Kylian Mbappe.
Spain or France must win the World Cup. Say no to Argentina. Say no to racism.
Okay, you're against Argentina.
Yes, no.
So
the French team is almost like an African team. It's filled with players of African descent. Even the
Mbappe himself is actually from here.
And just our neighbors to the east. So it's a celebration. We have more in common with France and they are players of African descent.
Is that the reason why
Morocco
the president
also said they don't
France?
they've applied for European Union membership twice. You see, so they don't see themselves.
But I was asking, is that the reason why the president?
Towels.
Is that the reason why the president always goes to France?
Oh no,
yes.
That one is a different category. Yes. Okay. And by the way, where's Prince Adeyemi?
Wow.
Why is he speaking from behind the scenes?
Well, Prince Adeyemi is not meant to be in court until the 27th of July, so he owes none of it.
But the police are looking for him now.
And they are.
They said they're looking for him.
And they went to arrest his father and a man of particular concern.
That went to go and visit.
That went to go and eat.
That do you mean went to eat?
What do you do during lunchtime? You eat now.
It doesn't mean that they went to eat. He may have gone there to say,
anyway, kudos to the Nigerian police. They've arrested him. So they've released him, as I said, arrested.
No.
Anyway,
he doesn't have any business in court until then.
It's Friday edition of Breakfast Central. We'll start off with wake-up conversations. We have quite a lot to unravel this morning.
I thought you would say quite a lot to unpack.
Unravel.
You have changed your English.
Stop.
What, were you against
Antebellum?
I think
Antebellum is something.
Joe, as our leader, as the leader of the Joe Hansen breakfast team, next time you have a management meeting, let them put barrier.
Okay.
Here. Let everybody focus on.
So put barrier between who?
Place your focus.
Iron barrier. If you talk into my talk, electric will shock your tongue.
Okay, we started the show on a very light note. Let's now share with you the update regarding News Central Town Hall in Katsina State. We recently held a major town hall in Katsina themed from fear to safety. We've been connecting with our correspondents in Katsina all through the week, telling you stories of survivors, security, and the future of Katsina, bringing together these survivors, the security agencies, traditional rulers, and policymakers to discuss practical solutions to insecurity in the state. Survivors have shared really harrowing accounts of displacement and loss, but also expressed hope that collective action can restore safety. Their testimonies underscore the human cost of insecurity and the urgent need for sustainable solutions in dealing with the prevailing situation in the state. Let's take a look.
Assalamu alaikum. Sunana Ahmad Atiku daga Funtuwa Local Government, kuma ina zaune a Meganji Ward. Wanda yanzu haka maganar da nake muku
As he's saying, presently his wife has been kidnapped with a 9-month baby. Usually from Megamji, that is Funtua local government. As his story goes on, they don't sleep till it's midnight, mostly 4 a.m. If you don't sleep at 4 a.m., you've never slept for the day, because 4 a.m. is the starting of a new dawn. Of the men don't go to bed till then. For them to pretend as if they're not in their houses, they have to use the padlock outside the door to make the kidnappers understand that nobody is in the house left. So that is the only thing they do for them to scare them out. Presently, Megam is still on attack. He has been on eye opened for almost 6 months. He said till he came to Kazakhstan State yesterday, that is when he had a sleep. Thank you. As Mariam said, it has been a long while since her husband has not been with her. His name is Musa Zaki. He went out to look for some things for them, for the family, to cater for his own family, and that is when on 29th of September, he was attacked and killed. Right now, as she's explaining, they had nothing. Both of their cattle and anything they reared then has been taken away by them. Unfortunately, she had a mother that was ill, so usually before she goes, she has to tell her husband, her late husband, that she's going to see her mother. On her way going to her mother's place, that's the last time she saw her husband. He was telling her, like, okay, are you going to see your mother? She said yes. So that was the last time she heard from him, and that was the last time she saw him as a living human being. Unfortunately, as he was going, his own taxes is whenever he's going to bed, he has to check around the house to see if there's nobody around, if the attackers are not around with them. But fortunately that day, because it was his last day, he has to go out to tell the other people around them that nobody should be left behind. On his way going, he saw them coming, he had them coming in the town, he hid, they followed him to the hidden place, draw him back. That was when he had other people. The people around who were in the bush shouted that they are coming, they are coming, they are with Musa, they are with Musa. So before they could come to him and give him any aid, they've attacked him.
Local government.
He's also a victim from Jibia local government. He was attacked in his ward by the kidnappers. He spent 18 days with them. Before then, they used his own motorcycle, placed it on his leg, so that he had burns on the left leg. He was carried away for 18 months. In the front of him, his own brother was slaughtered in front of him. So he was taken to a mountain. They requested for 10 million, but they had to, because he has nothing in his pocket then, they had to, with relatives, the help of relatives, they were given 700,000, because they later on came down to 1 million, but they were given 700,000 before he was released.
Assalamu alaikum, ni ce Halimatu Abubakar Batsari.
Halima is also one of the victims, but she hasn't been attacked. She's from Basari local government, from Shagewa ward. They had the same experience for almost 10 years, because everyone knows that Basari is one of the area. At times it has, we don't even go to Basari mostly. It has been timed. You have to maybe in the evening or early morning. It depends on their schedule of buses or private cars. You have to visit Basari then. But as she's saying, they're grateful to Allah. They're always also grateful to the government and other agencies that have been giving them aids and help, that they were able to farm, go back to the farm, go to the market, and live a little as they were living before.
Wow, guys.
A lot yesterday.
I mean, it's the same tale over and over again from all the town halls. But this Katsina town hall was particularly harrowing. There were so many stories. My mom actually spent the entire 3 hours, 30 minutes watching the town hall yesterday. And I mean, it breaks one's heart. You begin to wonder, at these fellow Nigerians, why do they deserve this? I mean, what's the responsibility of government if you cannot do the basic of protecting the lives of Nigerians? And then this happens, and still they don't get justice. You need to see the impunity at which these bandits operate, making demands, raping, doing all sorts of dastardly acts, and justice is so far away, and you begin to question if these people deserve this, if they're part of fraternity as a country, as fellow Nigerians. Absolutely shocking accounts that we heard yesterday, first-hand accounts, and I must commend the management of News Central for not relenting and, taking this to the people, because I'm sure no one has told their stories the way we tell their stories, or decided to have a town hall to listen to the plight of these people in Katsina. And our prayer is that the security operatives will step up. They're giving all the necessary support needed to nip this in the bud, and justice will be served one way or the other.
I mean, Binga, just to add to that, a lot of harrowing stories that we heard yesterday. One of which, I mean, like you also saw on the screen there, the lady coming out with a child and saying that this child was as a result of her being raped by one of the bandits. It hurts. And she's given birth to this child. I mean, for those who may try to picture and understand the entire agony and the feeling, it's a mixed feeling. You cannot just say, oh, congratulations, you have a baby. There's a lot going on all at the same time, but that's just one. Those who were murdered, despite the fact that they were in quotes, I mean, unalived, despite the fact that they had paid these monies, the ransom and so on. It makes you ask questions like, one, just at the Green Chamber about 2 days ago, almost for 72 hours, you had a member, you had a Senate who stood up and said, listen, we need to summon a few persons to come and speak. Let's know what's happening with security, what's happening with security funds and so on. And then he was told to shut up and sit down. Not by one, not by two, not by three, but by over 95% of members of that House of Representatives. I saw that video yesterday and I kept asking myself, is it that the people who are representing Nigerians are not burning, are not feeling the burn? How can just 1% of you stand up and say, listen, we need to take action now? And he was told to sit down and shut up, because he simply mentioned that the president may also need to be called to come in. And he was told, how dare you, who are you, sit down. That's one. On the other hand as well, insecurity is ravaging and causing a lot of problems for families and Nigerians. Good enough, we had an exclusive interview, News Central, an exclusive interview with the Minister of Defense. And part of the things that were mentioned, even though we also heard him say it earlier, he said any soldier who refuses to, in quotes, unalive any terrorist, that soldier will have the same treatment that is supposed to be meted on the terrorist, meted on him. There are also stories of soldiers earning less 100,000 naira and so on. So it kind of seems like the situation is a bit complicated. And that's why many are saying, will state police solve the problem? Because you've not nipped the real issue in the bud. You've not solved it. It's like you're trying to abandon that one and then recreate state police and say, okay, this is the one that will solve the problem. But then again, I mean, what else do we know? They'd say you're just a journalist. So what else do you know?
Really, there's nothing more to add to this. We will continue to hold our government to account and continue to empathize with Nigerians, our fellow citizens. Hearing the stories that some of them had to share. We saw the man who said they were taken to a mountain and they were demanding 10 million from them. It's just really a heartbreaking cycle that we're living. Bear in mind, whilst we're talking about Katsina, there are children who are in the forest for over 50 days. What their future is at this point, I can't even imagine what the family is thinking,
today.
you know? Sorry?
57
and also,
days.
while all of this is going on, there are politicians whose responsibility is to take care of this and nip it in the bud, but they're also concerned about getting re-elected. I mean, how do you feel and then you want to continue in the same capacity? I mean, it's really, really sad.
Anyway, we're streaming live on YouTube. News Central TV Live is the page. If you'd like to drop a comment, please drop a comment and we'll take comments this morning. But let's now get to our next story to tell you about police arresting a motorcyclist for kidnapping a toddler in Delta State. The Delta State Police Command has arrested a commercial motorcyclist named Kelvin Ogaga for allegedly kidnapping a 3-year-old girl entrusted to his care. It was learned that the suspect collected 500,000 naira as ransom from the child's family to release the toddler. The Delta Police Command spokesperson, SP Bright Edafe, disclosed the arrest in a video shared on Thursday. According to Edafe, the suspect had been hired by the child's parents to take her to and from school for a monthly fee of 10,000 naira. He reportedly carried out the assignment for about 3 weeks before abducting the girl instead of taking her to school. According to reports, the suspect collected a ransom of 500,000 naira before law enforcement tracked him down. This incident highlights the growing trend of opportunistic kidnappings, where everyday professions like motorcycle transport are exploited and being used for criminal activity. A young lady was also arrested by members of the anti-cult volunteer corps in Delta for child theft and handed over to the Ebrumede Police Division for further investigation. Let's take a look at this video. We will come back and then we'll share our thoughts on this as well. Really, really heartbreaking, but kudos to the Delta State Police Command.
I'm SP Edafe Bright, and this is Delta State Police Command. One would wonder, who do we trust? Who do we hand our children to? Who do we entrust with the responsibility of taking care of our children at times? We have a case of a 3-year-old child who an Okada rider was contracted to be picking the child from home to school and from school back to the home. He did this job for about 3 weeks before the devil came into him, according to him. On that fateful day, he took this child. Instead of taking the child to school, he took the child to wherever he took the child to and started calling the parents with another line that the child has been kidnapped and they should bring the ransom of 2 million naira. His own line was switched off. They couldn't reach him. So they never thought he was even the one who masterminded the kidnap. They reported while they were at the police station, he also called, threatening them that if they go to the police, they will kill the child. Eventually, a ransom of 500,000 was paid. That was when he allowed the child to go. Trust us, we swung into action, went into technically driven, intelligence-led investigation, and were able to unmask the face of the kidnapper who kidnapped that little child. This happened in Ugele about 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. My brother, no, not face me, stay there. What's your name?
My name is Kelvin Ogaga.
Kelvin Ogaga?
Yes, sir.
Ogaga?
Yes, sir.
All right. Or you sabi English?
Yes, yes.
No worry, our people know the year, not all of the year Robo like that. Okay, so why were you arrested?
I was arrested because of a 3-year-old child which I kidnapped.
You kidnapped the 3-year-old child?
Yes.
Who was the child to you?
The child is, I'm the one that used to take her to school and from school.
Okay, how much did they pay you? How much they agreed to they pay you?
10,000.
Every day or every month?
Every month.
Every month, 10,000.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, just to carry the child to and fro.
Yes.
So how many weeks you don't do the work before this thing happen?
So in total it's about 4 weeks, sir.
Almost a month. Have they paid you already before this thing happen?
Yes, sir.
All right. So on that fateful day when you carry this pikin, what could happen?
What really happened was that before now I was looking for money, so
you know, give me story or go
yes,
straight
sir.
to the point.
So a friend of mine told me that I should take the child. So when I carry the child, so that I will ask the parents to give us money. So I was wondering. I say, he said I should do it. I should not worry.
What is that your friend name?
It's they call it Omo.
Omo, how long have you known him?
I know him for years, but we are not that close. But I've known him for years.
But close enough to encourage you to kidnap a child that you are supposed to be taking home and to school. So where is your friend now?
He lives in Ofoma.
All right. So after you kidnapped this pikin, how did you contact the family of the child?
Okay. At first, my friend called. My friend was the one that called. So after he called them, so he handed over the phone to me that I should be making the call that he's coming back. That somebody called him. So while he was away, he used to call me every 10 minutes asking me how far I've gone with them. So, because I asked him before he left, I asked
you they waste my time.
Okay.
Eventually, how much you collect?
collected 500,000.
So when you collect 500,000, what do you going to do to the pikin?
They will release the pikin.
All right. So when police arrest you, you're not surprised? It not shock you?
I was surprised.
It shock you? All right. The money you collected from the parents, what did you use it for? How not they share?
We never really shared the money because
So where's the money now?
I used some to pay debt I was holding.
Okay, I think some part of the money was recovered. All right. Okay, you used some pay debt to the whole.
Yes.
The money you collect and cash have been a transfer.
Now we use POS.
You collect cash have been transfer.
Now cash.
All right. What was the role of your girlfriend inside the matter? Yes, you say your girlfriend joined on this.
Hello, look me. Who sent you to kidnap the baby?
That lady will know the girl.
Try to raise your volume. You said what?
Karuna.
Where Karuna they stay?
Karuna they stay Koto
Koto?
Yes.
How many you don't thief? How many you don't thief?
Only this one. Only one I don't thief for my life.
Only one?
How many times? How much did they pay you to thief for me?
They pay me money. They give me shish.
What are they going to give you?
Shish nothing.
What are they giving you?
They don't give me anything. No, Kaka, they don't give me anything.
Complain how you go buy my phone or continue working my work.
They don't give you anything.
Kaka, shish, they don't give me.
You don't get to give me one enter.
Hey, look here.
Oh boy, do the thing. That is from you. You don't get to give me one
I don't get any video, website video around. I don't get.
Huh?
I don't get.
You don't get with you.
I don't get.
What do you not get?
I don't get any video where we say we do it. I don't get any video where I do with Karuna.
That Karuna so. How many children got to go meet her?
Never teach children. I only once I go in house, we have sex. After we get sex, I went to his house, we have sex, and I get belly.
This is the fruit of a society that its moral values have broken down so I don't know if I would say irretrievably, because that's not the hope that I have for our country. But what it shares or it tells you is we've lost it as a nation. Where is our conscience as a people when we've gotten to the point where people no longer have dignity in labor, where there is and there is no excuse for any of these actions? It's not enough for this man to say 10,000 naira per month for him to pick that child is not enough. You were aware. You chose and you accepted it. It was a criminal mastermind that pushed him to go and do it. After 3 weeks of taking this child to school, you were scheming and scanning and understanding their routine and their rhythm. And when you found the right time, he struck, kidnapped the child that was entrusted into his care. Typically, they say that there's an old adage that says that when you want to keep something safe, give it to a thief to hold it for you, because the thief will feel like, now that they have given it to me, I can't steal it. That adage doesn't hold water again. We are cooked. But that's what happens where we show that kidnapping, and it starts from the terrorism and banditry level. When people don't see the outright active anger and vengeance and repercussion against certain actions, it then creates criminal gangs and thriving businesses. And that's what we're starting to see here. Kudos to the Delta State Police for uncovering this, for bringing these criminals to book. And we hope that as many who have done this, are doing this, or are thinking about doing this, will be apprehended.
Today it looks like it should be termed Confession Fridays, because all these criminal elements are confessing their sins and blaming it on the devil. But the devil is not here to defend himself. So that excuse doesn't hold water in Nigeria's constitution. Or Olive, is there a place where you can plead the devil?
No.
No. So you do the time.
You do the crime.
You do the crime. You pay the time. You do the crime.
You do the time.
You do the time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, my learned colleagues. You know,
thank you so much.
Oliver has said most of what I wanted to say, because it's a break. Poverty is no excuse. It's a breakdown of is greed, is what you're about to call ojukokoro. You know, not being content with what you have. And you had a deal. You could have told the parents of that girl that this 10,000 naira is insufficient. It wasn't. They didn't put a gun on your head to accept it. So all of that is no excuse. Sadly, you're going to go to jail, and you pay do the time for the crime you've committed. I also want to commend the Delta State Police Command, especially the PRO, Mr. Bright Odafe. Would also like you to do some, to share some expertise with other states that are struggling with kidnapping. And according to Mokwe Chukwemeka, he said they use some high tracking.
Because it's what Bright said now.
Yes, yes. I mean, just to, he
highlighted that.
Yes.
High tracking tools.
High tracking tools. So
Max the kidnapper and now said Bright. Oh.
It would be nice for Bright and friends to share some of those high tracking tools with police commands that are struggling with kidnapping incidents all across the country. I mean, I'm glad that justice has caught up with them, and I hope this serves as a lesson to those who think, you know, because there's a lot of crime in the society. You know, they can just hide and, you know, commit some of these crimes. If you do the crime, you
do the time.
Do the time, exactly.
Exactly. And just take a few comments on YouTube. Femi Olagunju said, thank you,
Olagunju.
Femi Olagunju says, it is only God that can repay New Central for the initiative program town hall meeting. I have not seen this kind of initiative. Kudos. The government needs to stand up to its responsibility. Thank you so much for that very kind comment. Michael Zu says, Chris Musa is just grandstanding. He makes public statement and goes behind to call terrorists repentant and prodigal sons. It is only the C, that's Commander-in-Chief Tinubu, that can issue such orders. Musa wants to be VP. Did he tell you? Did he tell you that?
This is how rumor starts. Parlor talk.
Straight Face Media says, please read my comment. Why was the face of that lady shown and the one of the bike man not shown? Please, I really want to understand the logic behind hiding the face of criminals who have been found guilty. Okay, so technically, they have not yet been found guilty. Even if a person is caught in the commission of a crime, the only person or body or institution that has the power to be able to condemn them and deem them guilty is the court. So when they are not yet taken to the court, until then, the presumption of innocence still stands, even when you catch them.
Section 3, subsection 16.
36 of Section 5 of the 1999 Constitution. Yeah, so unfortunately, that is what our reality is. And that 36 of Section 5, which is the presumption of innocence, is in place to really protect innocent people. Unfortunately, it has been exploited because there have been genuinely innocent people. We've seen the Alufo, for example, where there have been mob cases where somebody just needs to shout, "Ole!" and everybody just attack you and mob you. Anyway, let's head to X and take what Nigerians are saying on X before we share with you what we're looking at today. This is pathetic. I have always not been comfortable with contracting random motorcyclists for school runs. The truth is people don't have cars and they are working. So how do you want them to get their children?
Yeah, but how about background check for the motorcyclists? And
I completely agree, which is why the second paragraph says, please do a proper background check. If you must contract motorcyclists for that kind of job, it's risky. And this is another opportunity business venture. We should have like agencies that cover school runs.
They're independent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isha Oluwa says, don't trust your kid with any stranger. I'm not sure anybody wants to actually do this. People are backed up against the wall, pushed to the corner. They have to work, but their kids also have to go to school. Schools must stop handing children over to random bike riders without checking their identities. So this is not on the school. The parents were the ones who hired this man. Yeah. Again, the current reality we have is not one that people can chill. Not everyone can send their child to a school that already has school bus. So we must face the reality of what it is. Again, underneath all of this is an incredible level of poverty that we cannot overlook, a multidimensionally poor country. So we will speak to that much later as we proceed with the show. But then let's share with you the top stories we're looking at this morning. Let's get into the heat of the conversations this morning. FCT Minister Wike raises doubt over PDP's ability to win the presidency. And you can see that there.
Were they going to win before?
Well, that's what it is. 112 emergency rollout begins as the federal government, of course, begins to mobilize stakeholders. Then we'll be examining Nigeria's vehicle import policy this morning. We also will be bringing entertainer Falz the Bad Guy, who will be speaking about activism through music, as he's been known to famously do that. Newspaper front pages will be, of course, reviewed this morning with our analysts as well as with you. Join us for all these and more. As political conversations around the 2027 general elections continue to gather momentum, attention is increasingly turning to the readiness of Nigeria's opposition. Beyond coalition talks and the search for presidential candidates, there are lingering questions about whether the opposition has done enough to resolve its internal divisions, rebuild its structures, and present itself as a credible alternative to the ruling party. Those questions have been brought into sharper focus by FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, who argues that the People's Democratic Party cannot realistically expect to win the presidency until it puts its house in order. Wike maintains that elections are won through years of grassroots organization and careful planning, not political ambition alone, while dismissing the notion that Nigeria's democracy depends on whether Alhaji Atiku Abubakar or His Excellency Peter Obi is on the ballot. His remarks have once again raised the question of whether the opposition's biggest challenge ahead of 2027 is defeating the APC or rebuilding itself.
Joining us now to discuss the state of the PDP, the challenges of rebuilding the party, and what lies ahead for the opposition as preparations for 2027 gather pace is Anthony Ehilebo, a member of the People's Democratic Party, joins us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me.
Yes, so it pretty much seems like the PDP is out of the race. If we go by what the FCT minister has said, that he doesn't see the PDP actually, going for the presidential seat or even talk less of winning. What's your take on that? Let's start off with that.
Well, thank you very much. To the best of my knowledge, yesterday was meant to be an FCT minister's ministerial brief. I think it went beyond the remit of what it was and started talking about personal politics. I would have loved for him to tell us about the infrastructure in the FCT, why the roads around Lube, Kubwa, and all other environments around the FCT are in such derelict conditions, why there's no water in the FCT. I mean, those are issues I think the minister should have focused on instead of coming to a political party that he has actively held on a chokehold, using his position in President Tinubu's cabinet to do President Tinubu's bidding. We're well aware that it's a grand plan by the APC and President Tinubu to keep all opposition political parties on a stranglehold, on a chokehold, and a very mischievous and really unpolitical, undemocratic destabilization plan. It's really uncanny and unwary. If you follow the trajectory of the events that are happening in PDP, let me say this. The PDP is in court today. And I would like to, sort of raise some sort of consciousness that I have expressed that I know personally the judge that is delivering judgment. And I had a personal encounter with him. And he made a comment in Yoruba he thinks I didn't understand. And that really broke my heart. And it was in relation to the FCT minister, something he said. But that's not the matter for now. But let's even look at a simple story I'll tell you. In 2024, November, Justice Peter Lifu, who recently I heard through Professor Chidi Odedkalu's recent comments, had an aneurysm, which means he has a partial stroke, delivered a judgment. At the time, Ambassador Ilya Damagun was the acting chairman, and then he became substantive chairman of the PDP. Peter Lifu Justice gave a judgment which had specific injunctions restraining INEC from taking any letter that was not signed by Ambassador Ilya Damagun, and also citing that no one could remove Ambassador Ilya Damagun until December 9th, 2025. That letter was forwarded at the time by Senator Samuel Ayaw, who was secretary to INEC. At the time, it was now Ambassador Mahmoud Yakubu, who was chairman of INEC. Fast forward, and at the time, that judgment would seem was given in favor of the Wike camp, who wanted Damagun to remain in office and do his bidding, but he didn't know they would fall out. So again, that's the question of the interference with the judiciary and really judgments that were given to favor one person. But he didn't know that judgment would come to haunt them today. In 2025, November 3rd, the same Senator Ayaw wrote to INEC saying that the NWC had met and suspended Ilya Damagun, who he had written a letter a year before, forwarding a judgment, saying that this man cannot be removed. this no letter should be accepted without his signature. He single-handedly signed a letter and said the NWC had met and suspended this Damago and was replacing him with Abdurrahman. This same Abdurrahman that is said to be Mr. Wike's chairman, who was seen recently at a renewed hope rally on video, on camera. A supposed chairman of PDP, who is representing the faction of Wike. So for me, it's the taint on our democracy is really ridiculous. It's it's something that our history reflects these anomalies in time, and I'm really disappointed that someone who had held the bastion of opposition in the person of Nyesom Wike when he was governor of Rivers State, you will remember that every time he had a press conference, he kept saying the APC was cancer. He would not ever support the APC. But today, we see him actively campaigning for a president, which I have challenged someone yesterday, and I asked the person, since President Tinubu became president in 2023, can you guys who are hosts on News Central tell me one hospital that he has built?
All right,
one hospital.
Let's pause here. We need to go on a very quick break. We'll come back and pick up from that point. Please stay with us.
The only way that is democracy is only if ADC or NDC participate in the election. If not, there's no democracy. Democracy now for us in Nigeria has been defined where Atiku participates and Obi participates. That's the only time we have democracy. That is the level we have taken ourselves to, defining democracy by the participation of Ali Ndume and Peter Obi. If they don't participate, no northern Nigerian can run in those positions to make it as democracy. Democracy is only when Atiku contests, only when P2B contests. That's the only time we are talking about the democracy opposition. Watch. I have told you, and I've been people know, PDP had a problem. Now, having that problem is not easy to put yourself back to win a presidential election. It's not an easy task. You're not even talking about ordinary ward election. It is difficult. And what is more paramount to us now, build a party, see what you can do at the state level, get the ones you can get, put their pieces together, then prepare. Everything must not be that, this one happened. If they knew. Okay, you're talking about the PDP. Was that not the one that was accused of being an agent of APC? Was that not the one? Yes. Fine. Those who are accusing me, where are they? No, don't laugh now. Tell Nigerians, where are they?
All right, welcome back to Breakfast Central. We are, of course, still looking at the statement made by the Minister of the FCT regarding the PDP, looking at Nigeria's democracy. And our guest, Anthony Ehilebo, is still with us in the studio. Thank you very much for joining us virtually. Before we went on the break, you were speaking about President Bola Tinubu, and then you had asked if he had built any hospital. Is it hospital or healthcare facility you mentioned?
I'm talking about a hospital.
Hospital.
One hospital. If you can think of one while we're on here.
Well, there are, according to reports, there are a number of them that he's commissioned. Okay, so there's the Bola Tinubu Specialist Complex, FMC Jabi Abuja, right? And there have been reports about the Trauma Center, Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospitals area, a Mental Health and Drug Rehabilitation Center, a 50-bed in the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. And there are a number of them. You have not mentioned any. I didn't say rehabilitation. I said a new hospital. The president of Nayib El Bukele of El Salvador just built one of the biggest hospitals. El Salvador doesn't have oil. El Salvador thrives on tourism. Look, I really just don't want to even dwell on President Tinubu. Let's go back to the FCT minister, who is supposed to give us a brief, that ministerial briefing. I've lived in the FCT since 1990. I expect that the minister is telling me what he's doing in the FCT and not dabbling into politics. He is the major cause of PDP's problem today. And this didn't start today. And I've always been on the side of caution. I like the minister. I think he's someone who can be brilliant if he chooses to be.
in 2016, I was vehemently opposed to him bringing Ali Sharif into PDP. I went on air and I said this. He didn't listen. I was in Port Harcourt when it dawned on him that Ali Sharif had a sinister plan, and then we fought for 1 year to get Ali Sharif out of PDP. He continues to make this. The minister has through his own hand brought in almost 4 chairmen of PDP that he had ended up fighting with because they didn't do his bidding. And he doesn't understand that politics is a collective. Politics has to be done with the interest of the people. Right now, the politics he's playing is Nyesom Wike politics. It is not a politics that concerns Nigerians. Because if he was an active listener to the cries and pleas of Nigerians, he will understand that Nigerians need a viable opposition, not just to challenge the ruling party at elections, but to keep them on their toes. We have several incidences. We have the scandal rocking the presidency right now. We have several borrowing incidents that we cannot find a correlated use of that money in the country. So it is not just about PDP and whether the party is ready to. If he wants to know if PDP is ready for election, he should allow PDP present President Goodluck Jonathan and see whether PDP will not win that election. But, here we are. He's making comments that his own party, that he says he's a member of, he has remained in the party. He's doing the bidding of the president. After all, the minority leader, the former minority leader, Chinda, who is his man Friday, is already contesting in APC for governorship of Rivers State, left PDP after getting the ticket on APC, resigned on the floor of the House. So please, this is not just, we can't continue to deceive people nilly-willy. The truth is there. Everybody knows what the truth is. He said that people accuse him of being an agent. He is an agent of APC. He has not hidden that fact. He has been at several rallies with the renewed hope. He's saying that he's supporting President Tinubu. So what else is he other than an agent of the APC? Today we're going to go to, I have no hope in the judiciary because I know what may be the outcome of that thing. I will be, according to President Olusegun Obasanjo, I will be pleasantly surprised today if anything good comes out of that because I know what I heard. I know what I saw. When I went to see, I hadn't even seen him in a long time. I said, this is good. Let me just say hello to him. And the comment that was made when I got there, the people he surrounded himself with, that is a job. For me, I'm very sad at the denigration of the Nigerian system. Our judiciary is in a state where judges, look at the judgment given by Justice Agoma, look at the comments made by the appeal court on that judgment. Is it that we are blind to what our courts are saying? The courts have said severally that the people who formed the crux of Wike's PDP today were suspended. The appeal court in its last ruling says that I do not see anywhere where Ajibade was re-elected. This was pronouncements made by the appeal court. Why are we deceiving ourselves? He has overtaken, even in the INEC. INEC is compromised. INEC is completely compromised. And I'm not afraid to say it. The judiciary today, I told the line of Professor Chido Odika, it's not that we don't have judges who are trying to do the right thing. I'm a lawyer. I am disappointed in my profession. Look at the NBA election that we're about to have. The Attorney General tried to usurp the function of the Court of Appeal just because he wants to toe the line of his master, the president. He wants to take over the NBA. Where are we going to in this country?
Anthony, I'm glad you mentioned former President Goodluck Jonathan in your submission. We also have a situation where Professor Sandy Ono has been presented as the front runner for the PDP, the candidate by one faction of your party. So how do we reconcile both situations? And also, former President Goodluck Jonathan has not said anything, even though a certificate of return has been presented to him in absentia. What's the current situation with that?
Let me answer the Sandy Ono question. His national leader, Nyesom Wike, has made a comment that he cannot win. How can your national leader come on TV and say that even if we are to believe, assuming we agree without conceding, that they have the right political machinery or structure for the PDP? how can the national leader come and say my party cannot win an election? That deals with the question of Sunday on it. In the instance of President Bola Jonathan, and I have held this on several shows, I was one of the people who sat on the ground at the National Assembly with Charlie Boy, with Omotola Ikende Jende, and Dele Momodu Chude, when we went to do Enough is Enough protest in 2011, to compel the National Assembly to do the doctrine of necessity. Let me tell you, all through the trajectory of President Bola Jonathan, he has never shown that he is hungry for power. Rather, he has shown a hunger to do what is right for Nigerians. Look at when he was deputy governor to Alamisia. There was nothing they did not do to make him abandon and jettison his governor. But he stood by him, and that was perhaps one of the reasons why General Olusegun Obasanjo was kind of amenable to him becoming vice president to Yar'Adua. And look at when Yar'Adua fell sick. He still didn't have that that unnatural Nigerian, or I don't really want to call it, because Nigerians are good people, but a wieldy character of surpassing his boss and trying to get power. Look at when he lost the election in 2015. Without people knowing, I've sat down with people who were in the living room with him. They said he didn't even know when he went into the bedroom and made the call. That's the kind of person Nigeria is not. Look at the desperation of the APC today. Look at the desperation of President Bola Tinubu. Look at what they are doing to opposition. Is that the kind of leader that we need? We need a leader that will come in and know that he's coming to serve the people. A man that has made the statement that my ambition is not worth the life of any Nigerian. That's the kind of person that we need. We need to go and beg him to become president. We need to go and make sure that this man comes back, because if you compare Nigeria today and 2015 Nigeria, I bet you will prefer that 2015. And this was when institutions knew their place in the function of society. That was when INEC had card readers and a president went to vote and the card reader didn't read him, and he went there and then and made a statement that we must still trust the system. That is the kind of president Nigeria needs. And that is why some of us decided that this year we are going to do everything it takes to make sure Goodluck Jonathan comes back and takes us back to 20. We are hoping that he has a time machine. That's all we want from him. We want him to take us back to 2015, where Nigeria was the top economy in Africa. Today, Nigeria is the fourth economy in Africa. And I'm really surprised that it's even at that level. It should have even gone far back. So for me, and for all other true PDP members, is why we insisted and why we are doing everything possible to salvage our party, even if it is 2-3 months. Give it to President Goodluck Jonathan. I promise you that the entire North, the entire region of the entire Northern region will vote for him, because they have seen that this is the person that gave them Almanjiri schools. This is the person that was detribalized in his nomination of people who are ministers, people who was, his NSA was from Sokoto. His minister, you can't take it away from Goodluck Jonathan. He did what no Nigerian had done in the history of Nigeria. He allowed institutions to try. Let me tell you, I'm a member of PDP. At the time, there was a former chairman of PDP whose son was involved in the petroleum sector fraud at the time. It didn't matter. He was charged to court. His minister was made to resign because they said that she inflated. That was the minister of aviation at the time, because she bought a car that was budgeted for. Today, look at what is happening in the country. So you can't compare what the PDP, the real PDP, is presenting and what the fake PDP is presenting. How can Sunday Ono, who could not even win the governorship election in Cross River, want to come and win a presidential election? Anyway, his national leader has spoken. So it is clear that the ploy was to weaken the PDP. And read his comments. Let's just win some states. Let us go back and recalibrate. And, I really want to cast the mind of the minister that all these things that are happening, he should take a look at Nigerian history. Look at El Rufai today. This is the same El Rufai that was prosecuting and persecuting people. What is happening to him today? Look at the chairman of CCB. This is the same person that went to Banex Plaza, Emma Plaza, and was beating up someone today. Where is he? He's in Kuje prison today. So we must be careful that history in Nigeria is replete. It's replete with people who have abused power, who have forgotten that power is transient. And we must do the right thing when we have that position, when we have that God has given the FCT, and everything the FCT minister is today is as a result of PDP.
All right.
When he became local government chairman, when he became chief of staff, when he became under minister of education, when he became governor, two-time governor of Rivers State, it was all under PDP. All right. And he must respect this his home. All
right. This will be a good place for us to pause on this conversation. We hope to have you again, and this time we'll hopefully pair you with another of our very interesting guests, and then we can have a broader conversation. But thank you for joining us. We wish the PDP all the best, and we'll continue to see how your party progresses.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stakeholders in Nigeria's health sector have called for stronger accountability and transparency in the management of funds meant for epidemic preparedness. We'll be bringing you more updates of this in a moment. Our correspondent has the package that has been brought, and then we'll share that with you after we return. Actually, let's share that package with you now.
Thank you all for coming. The Basic Healthcare Provision Fund was established to strengthen primary healthcare and support Nigeria's emergency health response. Through the NCDC Gateway, the fund finances disease surveillance, laboratory systems, rapid response, and epidemic preparedness. But ensuring these resources are managed transparently remains a major concern. These issues took center stage at the national convening on BHCPF NCDC Gateway Accountability in Abuja, where stakeholders reviewed findings, highlighting limited public access to fund utilization, weak monitoring, reporting gaps, delays in implementation, and low citizen awareness.
Accountability and transparency, issue of policy gap and understanding of this policy across the various stakeholders, as well as the issue of accessibility to the funding through this particular mechanism, the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. But our focus was actually on the NCDC Gateway, which received 1.25% of the whole amount.
Support the government in achieving the mandate of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. Our main target here is to see how can every political ward has its own primary healthcare, change the mindset and attitude of people to also follow in, looking at that primary healthcare as the first contact of service. So tracking will always not be an easy thing because you have to track what you know.
Participants stressed that stronger financial accountability is essential to improving Nigeria's epidemic preparedness and called for greater transparency and public oversight.
To see states comply with the guideline of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund in terms of their work plan, in terms of reporting and retiring the funds that they've received so that they can have access to more funding and be able to put in epidemic preparedness systems in place across the various subnationals.
They also urged routine publication of disbursement records, expenditure records, procurement information, and implementation updates to strengthen public confidence in the management of health funds. In Abuja, for News Central, Aisha Salihu.
President Bola Tinubu has met with lawmaker Ali Ndume at the State House in Abuja following efforts to find lasting solutions to Nigeria's security and economic challenges. Ndume spoke to State House correspondents commending ongoing military operations against terrorists and bandits, saying that sustained pressure on criminal groups is yielding positive results. He also revealed that President Bola Tinubu has advocated for regular consultations with stakeholders to generate fresh ideas and strengthen efforts to tackle the country's insecurity and economic challenges.
We had a very fruitful and useful discussion, and the President even insisted that we should be having it regularly, and we should also have it at not necessarily in the office where people will be flying files and all that. Have it in residence to think about how to help in solving some of these problems. Like a lot of pressure on the bandits, in the southeast and the, northeast. They have even taken out some of their leaders. And even yesterday, some of their commanders have surrendered. So if the tempo is kept, I'm sure that this thing will come to an end.
Let's bring to you a quick recap of what we've talked about so far. So good in the first hour. FCT Minister Wike raises doubt over PDP's ability to win the presidency. And Anthony Ehilebo actually had his own share. Well, Ali Ndume meets President Bola Tinubu and urges regular consultations on security and economy. We also brought to you news concerning basic health care provision fund. Stakeholders call for more transparency and accountability. You're watching Breakfast Central. Let's tell you what's coming up next. Next on the program, we'll be examining Nigeria's vehicle import policy. You did hear about the new laws? Well, anyway, stick around. Federal government mobilizes stakeholders as 112 national emergency call number rollout. And we'll be having joining us Fowles, who'll be talking about a lot. So do stay with us.
Stakeholders in Nigeria's automobile industry are exposing what they describe as aggregated customs charges, from layered duties to hidden levies and shifting tariffs that sharply contradict government claims of cheap vehicle importation. While official narratives suggest Nigerians should be paying less for cars, merchants and analysts argue that the reality is a suffocating cost structure that inflates prices, that discourages investment, and leaves consumers struggling to afford basic mobility.
This isn't just about cars. It's about transparency, accountability, and the credibility of Nigeria's trade policies. If customs charges are truly aggregated and inflated, then the promise of affordable vehicles is nothing more than a mirage. The ripple effects touch every sector, from transport operators to small businesses and everyday families. So, are Nigerians being misled, or is there a deeper structural problem in how customs duties are calculated and enforced? If you're a part of those or one of those who saw the story that you will be able to afford a car maybe by next month or a few months to come and you were excited, you just might want to sit back and have a good listen to this particular conversation. Joining us for this, we do have investment bank and public affairs analysts who will be joining us in a bit. Naimeka Biariri joins us to look at it. But we also have automobile merchant, the one known as Imiana Cars. From Imiana Cars, I beg your pardon, Obia Ekunke joins us as well. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
All right. While we expect our next guest to join us, let's start off first with, you've been dealing with cars, and it's only right for us to look at those who are in the business of selling. And of course, this means you have to clear from the customs when your container lands, so on and so forth. Quickly tell us, this new information we're hearing that cars will become cheaper, is it true or will become affordable? How true is it?
We are in Nigeria. From what the government have said, is true on the paper, but we have to wait and see when it's being implemented in the ports. Because so far, so good, it's still the same tariff. So I believe maybe from next month or maybe next upper month, when the implementation starts properly. Because what you can be hearing on the parliament or from the news might be different from what you're facing in the ports. So my own, what I'm saying is for us to just wait and give it a month or two and see what will happen.
Yeah, Obia, but following up, just looking at the tariffs on paper and the drop in duties that dealers will have to pay. If it does work out, would it come as much of a relief to you on the business side of things?
It's real. Definitely it's real. It will come as a relief on the business side of the things, but still yet, let's not forget, we are still buying these cars in dollars. We are still bringing these cars from outside the country. So if for it to have a significant effect on the pricing of cars, it also have to warrant for the dollars to also beat down a little. So, but for the import duty, if it starts working properly and everything is being set in place, definitely it will affect the price of cars. Price of cars will drop down for sure.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about the customs charges. I wanted you to explain a little more about the seeming aggregated customs charges. Some argue that it's a deliberate revenue strategy. Do you want to help, shine the light more on that?
About the custom charges, it's also an avenue for the government to generate revenue for themselves. But like I said earlier, this is Nigeria. You get everybody has their ways of getting their own things done. They might be, oh, this is a percentage you're supposed to pay. And when you get to the port, your foreign and clearing agents will say, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. But for me, if the government can give us a direct way or create a platform where you just have to make this payment of the percentage that they have set directly and maybe generate a code, just go to your platform, put it and go and clear your cars. It will really be nice about it. But it's not about them just saying that this is what they want to do. Meanwhile, when you get to the port on ground, the agents are telling you a different thing.
Okay. Can you take us through the process? What we hear now is there's been a reduction in the number or the amount you pay for clearing your vehicles. Can you confirm that to us? Can you tell us what you currently pay, in terms of percentage, and what the government is saying, and how this will affect Nigerians who are looking forward to, own a car?
Personally, I've not seen any changes. Until the changes have been effective from the grassroots. That's the custom in the port. That's when the
what percentage? What percentage is it at now? What percentage? When you try to clear your cars, what do you do? How much do you pay? What's the percentage?
The percentage is still the way it was before. The 20% for the brand new and the 15% for the new ones. But nevertheless, due to cost of some tariff and the rest, you might still pay more than that.
Okay, we have...
you might still pay more than the normal 15% the government sets.
All right,
Meanwhile, the new policy says for... Okay?
Yeah, thank you for, spotlighting that. You're saying so far 15%, we may still pay more than that. We have Mr. Emeka Obiari, who's a public affairs analyst and who's also very, very seasoned in this conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Obiari, for joining us. But we need to go on a very quick break. We'll return and get your perspective. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're looking at the current reality regarding import duties for cars in Nigeria. We're joined by Mr. Emeka Obiari, who's a public affairs analyst and who's also very seasoned in this area. Thank you very much, Mr. Obiari, for joining us this morning. Give us in practical terms, what is the current reality for Nigerians who are looking to import vehicles? Is it cheaper? Is it more expensive? What is the procedure?
Thank you, Olive, and thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. The truth is that it's quite unfortunate that those that purport to govern us do not really understand the realities of the time. As of today, total cost of importing a Tokombo car into Nigeria aggregate about 42 to 45% in real terms. Forget the shenanigans that they did, they remove duties. And I want to break it down for you so that these are the realities. Beyond the fact that they reduced duties, which is even an insignificant portion of the total levies and taxes that they take from Nigerians in this regard. We're talking about import duties. They brought it down to 5% for Tokombo, 10% for brand new. And then they have the National Automotive Council levy, 15% for Tokombo, 35% for brand new. Value added tax 7.5%, port charges 7%, FOB violation charge 4%, ETL tax 1%, CISS fee 1%, green tax 2%, and the other payable costs including custom violation assessment adjustment, destination port handling fees, which is charged at $15 per cubic meter. And that means if you're bringing a 40-feet container, you're going to be paying $15 times 68. And then custom clearance agency fee, document fees, various miscellaneous charges, and then everything goes to about 42-45%. That is for Tokombo car. For brand new car, it goes almost to 70% by the time you look at the National Automotive Council. But let us break it down. There is something we don't realize in this country. Today in Nigeria, the cost of logistics and transport is 3 times higher than that of the average in any other African country. You can fact check me on this. 8 times higher than that in other developed economies in Europe and America. Why is this so? Nigeria today, based on our massive landmass of 920,000 square kilometers and the population that we have, requires on an annual basis over 700,000 vehicles, both articulated and non-articulated. If you look at the domestic production capacity of all the car assembly plants in Nigeria, from Innocent to North, is about 14,000 that they produce, which is barely 2% of national demand. And the truth is, one of the factors of production is equipment and machineries, and motor vehicles, one of them. I give us an example clearly. Today, it's estimated that Nigeria lose over 3.2 trillion naira worth of agro-commodities to post-harvest losses because of lack of storage, lack of processing facilities, lack of dryers, and then transport equipment to move them from the hinterland even to the urban areas. Today, we require about 25,000 brand new refrigerated trucks to move fresh goods. And that is how I stumbled upon this, because we are bringing in refrigerated trucks that we want to use to move agro-commodities from the hinterland even to our processing plants. And we discovered clearly a refrigerated truck, which is a clear factor of production, to bring in a refrigerated truck, 40, Tokumo, not even brand new, worth $40,880, we have to pay almost $21,000 by way of custom duties, levies, and other excise charges on that. That simply means, converted in naira, for me to bring in a refrigerated truck, we need about 25,000 of it, which is an essential vehicle, essential equipment and machineries to catalyze productivity in Nigeria, in the agro sector. I have to, for a vehicle of 57 million, I have to cough out 29 million naira. Make that make sense to me. This is one country. We've said it here. One of the reasons why countries charge tariff and duties all over the world is to stimulate and support trade, to encourage domestic production of goods and services where you have competitive advantages. You put higher tariff on competing products inflowing into your country. But on other goods and services which you require to enhance productivity in your country, which you do not have any domestic competitive productivity and production edge, you reduce tariff as much as possible, even to zero, to enable you get those equipment, enhance productivity, boost the welfare, economic welfare of your people, and develop increase the HGIs. But in Nigeria, it is the other way around. You know, one thing that baffles me is the role of this government or governments in Nigeria across the 3 tiers, not just the federal government. Is their role just to levy, tax, surcharge, collect from Nigerians, strip them, put in the federation account, share among the 3 tiers of arms of government, and loot the same and filter the money outside Nigeria to buy properties and luxury for themselves and pay school fees for children outside Nigeria? Or is their role to provide policies and programs that will enable Nigerians engage in lawful productivity that will improve the collective welfare and wealth and prosperity of everybody? In a sane and thinking country, what they tax is luxury goods, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, Mercedes-Benz, products that they know do not actually serve to aid productivity, but for luxury. But here in Nigeria, they just put a blanket. And you know the interesting thing, even when you bring in those goods with evidences of the correct invoices, for example, now you're bringing in this articulated truck I'm bringing in is $40,000, but the brand new one is about $150,000. And it will shock you that the same men of the Customs and Excise Department in their backyard will look at the base value, production value of the brand new, and cancel your invoice and put the value of the brand new this thing upon which they will put the tax. At the end of the day, you end up paying more than 100% of the actual value of your goods because of the inefficiencies and the corrupt tendencies of those who purport to represent us at the MDS.
So Mr. Oberiri, at what point do we strike a fair balance between generating revenue and also stimulating the economy? Because every other quarter, the customs is always declaring a record revenue collected, quarter by quarter, and they celebrate it as if, you know, it's a great thing, we're making money. But at the same time, from what you've told us, they're hurting ordinary Nigerians who work hard to bring in some of these things which we don't have any capacity to produce. For example, the refrigerated trucks you mentioned. We've seen a lot of post-harvest losses. If we have them, it will stimulate the economy and also help improve the value chain from just production to producing. So how do we draw a fair balance in protecting the automotive industry, generating revenue, and also on the other side, allowing some of these imports to come in duty-free and stimulating the economy, because we don't have the capacity. You said Nigeria's indigenous production, car production capacity is a far cry from what the demand is.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, let me come in here. You see, all over the world, basic economics 101, there are 4 factors of production: the human capital, land, which is naturally given. There's nothing you can produce and manufacture or process, whether robotic, AI, or whatever, that does not come from materials from the earth, either from the surface of the earth, agriculture, or from beneath it, mineral resources, rare earth, gold, lithium, whatever. Then you have equipment and machineries, and then you have money, which is funding. And these other 3 factors of production are coordinated by humankind, by mankind, the brain and wisdom of men. And that is where you have, when you get people who are knowledgeable, who are deeply creative, who do not think productivity from the point of corruption. We know that consumption drives productivity. But in the public sector in Nigeria, I'm sorry to say it, their production or their tendencies to produce is driven by greed, by corruption. When they make policies, when they make programs, everything that comes to their mind is, how do we fleece these people? Just like the devil, how do we steal? How do we kill? How do we maim them? Now, it's a basic thing. How much was custom raised for crying out loud? The highest custom has ever raised in Nigeria is about 14, 15 trillion naira, and which is never seen. It's always on paper. But we know that we can actually grow the agri sector and across the value chain in very simple terms that can enable us, driven by technology and common sense, generate nothing less than $300 billion in this economy. I give you an example, clear example. Netherlands, 1.5 million hectares of arable land mass, less than 200,000 people in the agri sector. They generate 1.2 billion euros every year. With 64 million hectares of arable land mass, 72 million people in that sector. If we train them and bring the right mechanization, the technology, tariff-free, duty-free, levy-free, allow Nigerians with capacity, whether as vendor financiers, whether as importers, whether as traders, bring those equipments in here. We can generate and rave up nothing less than 200 to 300 trillion naira from that sector within the next 1 year. But these guys do not think that way. When you ask them, they will tell you, oh, this is duty-free. I have encountered them several times, and I've shared it here in your studio. I brought in 17 tractors and called haulage vehicles for agriculture. They dutifully said agriculture. The first thing they told me was that, you need to go to Ministry of Agriculture. You have to get approval. You go to Ministry of Finance, you get approval. You will now come, and it will take months. And these are layers of criminality deliberately put in place to frustrate genuine investors into this country. In a thinking country, all you need is for Mr. President to put an executive order, get a Akpabio and the APAS to amend the relevant laws. You don't need to go to anybody for approval. Whether you're bringing it to trade, or you're bringing it to sell, or you're bringing it for your agri purposes, as long as these are agro equipments and machineries and tractors and trucks and refrigerated trucks, zero tariff, zero levy, zero automotive nonsense that they are doing. These are facts. We need about 1 million tractors in Nigeria. We need about 25,000 haulage vehicles. We need about 200,000 haulage vehicles. We don't produce them here in Nigeria. And this requires almost about $100 billion investment, which government cannot do. And this is a country that requires on an annual basis $100 billion capital investment, non-physical, into this economy, for us to be able to build up productivity, to even bring us to the level of the second world countries, not even the first world countries. But they won't do this. And you know the interesting thing, the custom guys are lawless. They are laws unto themselves. Even when you cite them to their own books, they will tell you to go and get it. And they will warn you, there's no court that can help you. And if you wait 1 year, by the time you come back, they will sell off your goods and nothing will happen. It's impunity, lawlessness everywhere, because nobody is watching them, nobody is regulating them, nobody is controlling them. The truth is, if we want to get it right, we need to put in the place of policy making, program making, men and women with thinking faculties, men and women whose productivity is driven by real consumption, honest consumption, and not greed. And this is the truth. You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that we need to boost and diversify this economy. We need, today, and we've shared it with them all over the world, even in the First Republic, if we want to come stop insecurity, if we want to reduce poverty, if we want to build on this economy to create all-inclusive prosperity and wealth, we need to do 2,500 in the first instance. Agro parks, each of them not less than 500 hectares. And these are the works of the local government and the state governors with the federal government supporting them. And these are lowest hanging fruit of what they can do. You need to bring in equipment and machineries. You don't need government to do it. It's tariff-free, everything, duty-free, tax-free. Put it blanket. And they will tell you, oh, people are bringing it to sell. Does anybody drive tractor on the street of Lekki or Ikoyi or VI? Tractors are meant for the farm. If somebody is bringing tractor to sell, it's for the farmers that will buy it. And if the supply is more than demand, price will crash. It's common sense. Okay,
Dr. Berry, all right. Very, very, very key comments right there that you've made. But let me go to Obia, seeing that we're running out of time. Very quickly, can you tell us how has this impacted on your business? And also, what do you think the customers will look like? Customer drive. What will the customer drive look like in the next few months?
Let me tell you how it has impacted my business. If you go to Auchi and some areas in Edo State, most farmers who produce plantain and other fresh goods in the hinterland, they don't even have access to road. That was why I brought in those haulage vehicles, 5-wheel, like tricycle, that can carry 3 tons. And that was why we're bringing those registered trucks and processing plants. Those guys, they will not have access and they will keep on suffering losses. And of course, if I bring in those equipment and the tariff almost doubles the price, I'll put the cost on the users. And when I put the cost on the users, the cost of productivity will go up. And the end price for those who will buy it will go up. At the end of the day, we are celebrating customs making 10 trillion naira that is shared among kleptomaniacs who are very few, less than 1 million. And whereas the mass of 220 million Nigerians continue to suffer in abject penury. We have 197 million Nigerians in abject poverty. Today, we have 8.1 million in IDP camp. Today, the insecurity we have in Nigeria is probably driven by economy. It's not even religion. Because the truth that, have you ever seen most of those shouting Allah Akbar, cutting people's neck? Have you ever seen the son of the big men or daughters of big men among them?
All right, let's quickly...
Those who refuse to educate, those who refuse to train.
All right, we're out of time, Mr. Ehilebo. I want to also get Mr. Ekunke's thoughts about how this has impacted his business as a car dealer as well.
Yeah, from how it was before, like what he said, he's 100% right. Because paying about over 45% to 70% on cars we brought in due to the other charges, it makes the price of cars go high. And the government failed to understand that how we buy, that was how we also sell. And by that, it helps because it affects our customers coming in. But now, talking to many clients now, they'll tell you, oh, they have to hold on when the tariff started effect or the percentage started effecting, that's when they will come. Unlike me, like my clients now, they are waiting for the price to come down before I can bring in cars for them. Because, for example, I brought in other cars and I'm paying more than half of what I purchased the car. So many people are waiting for it to affect. It will take effect first before they will start purchasing cars. And it affects the business a lot. Because recently business have been slow due to people waiting patiently for the announcement to take effect, while the government are not even putting on the necessary implementation plan for it to be carrying out. Right. They just stay in the parliament and do what they want to do.
And you know what's even worse? We have now gotten into the rainy season. The floods are already messing up people's cars. People who planned to change cars this year are already putting those plans on hold. How we are going to fare, we do not know, because it is a consumer that is hugely impacted by this. But gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Now, we're also talking about the inability to afford cars. Many are talking about the inability to afford a decent level or decent quality of life. Today, we're looking at advocacy through music, those who champion the causes of everyday Nigerians and telling their stories through music and political activism. And joining us next is Falz the Bad Guy. We'll be right back after this break.
Over the past few weeks, Nigeria has once again found itself reflecting on the state of its democracy. On June 12, 2026, Democracy Day was marked not just by official ceremonies, but protests in Lagos and other cities, as many Nigerians demanded action on insecurity, economic hardship, and the rising cost of living. Among those who joined the demonstrations were human rights lawyer Femi Falana and his son, rapper and activist Folarin Falana, reigniting conversations about civic responsibility and the role of influential voices in shaping national discourse.
Few days after Democracy Day, Falz released his new EP, Break Time, a project that examines governance, corruption, inequality, and the realities that many Nigerians face daily. This morning, we're asking, can music still challenge power? Can artists influence national conversations? And what responsibility do public figures have in moments like these? We're joined this morning by rapper, actor, lawyer, activist, Folarin Falana, a.k.a. Falz the Bad Guy. Good morning. Thank you, Falz. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So I listened to your EP. It's bittersweet, really sweet because it's punchy, it's easy to listen to. You can go over it. It's 5 songs. You can go over it over and over again. But bitter because it touches on our reality. I saw themes like Japa, online begging culture, religious leaders and the role they have in accountability, Nigeria being poverty capital, police brutality, distractions by social media, protests, weaponization of poverty by the political elite. I can go on and on, to highlight some of the themes I saw in this body of work. But you also touched on the kidnap that happened in Oyo, the killings, the beheading. At what point did you decide, and this is perhaps your most politically conscious body of work in recent years, but at what point did you decide, I've had enough and I need to do this, to tell the story of what Nigerians are going through? What was the breaking point for you?
I think for me, I'm always thinking about these things. I'm living it. This is my reality. This is our reality. We're always living it every single day. But I think for the longest time, and for too long, in my opinion, we have been dealing with it by just trying not to think about it. But it's inevitable. You have to face it. It's like sweeping the dirt under the carpet. At some point, it's going to erupt and your entire house will be messy. You have to stop. You have to pause to think about it. So I'm always thinking about these, but I just felt like it's too much now. And it's also why I call the project Break Time. It's sort of a nod to the fact that I feel like we're at breaking point. And at the same time, we need to pause. We need to stop for a moment and just check ourselves. What are we doing? What is going on? We don't seem to realize that the more we focus on creating memes about it and trying to make jokes about it, to quote unquote deal with it, the more we trivialize these things and the more we become numb to it. And at some point, we're just gonna implode. So, this is me saying, let's stop, let's pause. It's break time, essentially.
Okay. You've been active in major protests from NSAS in 2020 to the June 12 Democracy Day protests. When you compare Nigeria back then and now, what has genuinely changed, and what do you think hasn't changed yet?
I don't think so much has changed. What has changed, and which is good to see, is I think a lot more people are taking interest in these affairs, in our affairs, in political conversations, in just being conscious, in just being aware, being concerned about what's going on. More people are, sort of paying attention. More people are talking about it. It's more of a thing. I think in those times it was even less of a thing. More people just really didn't care. They didn't realize how important these conversations were. So if there's anything that has changed, is that more people are, starting to talk about these issues. But in terms of the actual climate, not very much has changed. This administration has been in power for an entire term now because the elections are next year. But we can say we're worse off than before they came into power. So not much has improved in terms of our affairs, whether economically, whether politically, whether it be...
Right. It would seem that there's a bit of a network glitch. We will connect with Falz, but let's go on a very quick break and we'll come back. We'll pick up from where he's left off. He's left off saying not much has changed and that we are worse off than when this administration got into power. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're looking at activism through music and the role that public figures have to play. And we're joined today by Falz, who's been speaking to us about the state of the nation, which he's expressed through his latest EP. Now, one of your songs, Naje, which is, I think, currently the one that you're promoting, it reflects the everyday struggles Nigerians face and the different realities across the country. There's another track, Ole, which I think is my favorite, explores themes of corruption, accountability, and leadership. Was there an intentionality behind choosing an Hausa nursery rhyme? I believe it was an Hausa nursery rhyme, someone said, for that chorus. And, you know, how was the creative process like for you? Were you not at some point worried that they will cancel you because you're speaking so strongly against the government that is still in office? And you are a musician. This is how you make your living, you know, you make your daily bread.
I mean, to be honest with you, I've never been afraid of the risk of being cancelled. You know, I remember when I put out This Is Nigerian in 2018, the NBC apparently banned the song because it was vulgar. I don't know what was vulgar about it. It was just the plain truth as it was happening. I barely swore on the track. There was no profanity. It was just the clear gospel truth. But sometimes that is difficult to swallow. Sometimes that is a hard pill, you know, to swallow. And that usually is why that reaction comes up. But I've never been afraid of that. It was intentional, you know, the Northern influence. The Northern Hausa language in general has been not very underrepresented, I would say, in arts. And I felt like there's so much to tap, you know, just in there. So we wanted to explore that. Initially, it was the intention was to explore that just as a feel-good song. But I started creating that, and I just realized everything that was coming to me lyrics-wise was just what was happening around. And I couldn't wave it away. There was nothing I could do about it. And this is why I say, you know, this thing is on your mind, but at some point, it's just like, okay, yes, I have to talk about it now. You know, it's just, it's unbearable. Yeah.
Now, let's, following on the things that are happening in the country, sometimes you wonder if some musicians live in Nigeria and they're affected by our current reality because of the sort of music that is mainstream and the sorts of things you hear. It's always popping champagne or your body is a meat pie or something like that. And you're wondering, look, are you living in the same reality where we're the fourth most terrorized country in the world? The same reality where you have millions of children out of school? The same reality where a huge proportion of your population lives in abject poverty, but they're singing about these things. But it brings me to the question. You see Bob Geldof, Michael Jackson, the Fela, Nikolapo Kutis of this world, Bob Marley's, they make protest music and they're global icons. So when you sit down with your colleagues and in the industry and discuss some of these things, is it that they're not bothered or they just don't want it to affect their revenue stream? And, you know, it's like politicians, let politicians deal with politicians. Do you have a duty of care or responsibility, some sort of?
To be honest, in terms of the reason why, I think the latter is more likely to be the case. I think more people are concerned about, you know, how they're eating, how they're living, you know, how they're earning a living, and they're not sure that they want to tamper with that because they feel like if they do speak up, you know, maybe some certain people might not be too pleased with that, and maybe that might, you know, take off from their earnings. But at the same time, you know, how long are we going to keep on doing this for? We as entertainers, we as public figures have a big duty. I think we have a huge responsibility to use our voice, you know, for this cause. I think every single person existing in Nigeria should be an activist. It shouldn't be a thing of, oh, these are the activists, let them do it. Every single person existing in this climate should be an activist. There's no reason why we should be okay living like this. We were talking about whether things have changed for the better or worse. I think within this first term of this current administration, we have not seen as many victims of insurgency as we have ever seen in this country. It's unreasonable. Nobody even feels safe anymore. How can we just continue to exist and continue to dance like this and just continue to move like there's nothing going on? I think we have a huge responsibility as public figures, and more people definitely should be speaking about this. But of course, I mean, I'm in no position to tell somebody what to sing. So I'll just do my own and hope that they...
And again, if music doesn't work, you have a law degree to fall back on. You're a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, so you can always go back to court.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not doing this because I intend to go back. I'm doing this just because it has to be done. Regardless of what I was doing, even if I was already in the chambers practicing as a lawyer, I would still be out there like this. This is all I know. This is what I think is essential. This is what has to be done as a matter of urgency.
Okay. Let's look at the youths. Definitely about 70% of Nigeria's population, you have a lot of them. 30, below 30. The PVC collections definitely, and registration will end not too long, 27th of July, and the countdown is on. Do you personally think that the Nigerian youths are ready for 2027?
That's a very good question. It's a very good question. Are they ready now? I don't know. To be honest with you, I would hope. I would hope. I'll keep my fingers crossed and hope that they are. I know that the INEC portal, for a very long time, has not been properly functional. I know so many people that had complained to me because I had put out several, posts and messages via social media encouraging people to register. And so many people expressed having issues with the portal or with some sort of process, some sort of point within the registration process. And it seems like INEC is intentionally making it difficult for people to register. I just sincerely hope that there will be as many youth that have been able to get past this hurdle, because this has been quite the hurdle. Just being able to properly complete this registration process without any hassle. I know that's discouraging a lot of people. Even coming to this point, the way that everything has been, I think, has been very discouraging. We saw the last elections as well. We saw how that went. We saw how these people came into power, and through very, very, very questionable means. The INEC chairman at the time had announced that the portal was hacked. So coincidentally, it happened to be hacked for the presidential election. Every other one was fine. The House of Reps, senatorial, gubernatorial, all those went fine. But for the presidential election, it happened to have been hacked. Very convenient. And we saw how that former INEC chairman has now been compensated with an ambassadorial role. So it's not even, it's quite brazen, it's quite blatant. Now they just don't care. They're just doing what they want. I hope there will still be enough people that can gather the morale to come out and let their intentions be known at the polls.
And that leads me to my next question, because we hope that a lot of people will come out to express their intention at the polls, but young people started coming out to express their intention on the streets, first of all. Recently, we had a Democracy Day protest. You were there. We saw you. Your father was there. Your family has been one that has been very particular and concerned about the affairs of Nigeria and wanting a better country and lending a voice to activism. But we will see that the highlight of protests that we saw was in 2020. After that, it would seem that there has been some, I don't know, from your perspective, because you've been out on the streets a lot with Nigerian youth, how would you say Nigerians have fared or are faring with regards to their right to be able to freely protest? And I know you spoke to that theme in one of your songs regarding how they say protesting is not the right way. What are your thoughts on this vis-a-vis the constitutional provision and the way that the current administration is handling when they hear before you even say test? There's already some sort of a pushback.
Yeah, it's not a real democracy if you're not allowing people the freedom to express themselves. Freedom of association, freedom of assembly, freedom to gather whenever they want to and express their displeasure. But when there is any semblance of that, we see how they come out. We see the aggression. We see the riot police with all the gear, and that aggression is never channeled towards insurgency. The police have shown themselves grossly incapable of handling these insurgents. Meanwhile, they're always so eager, they're always so excited to show aggression towards innocent, peaceful protesters. I think Nigerians, even just as a people, aren't doing enough protesting. I mean, we can't also, on the flip side, we can't really blame people because people are afraid. You know, a lot of people are afraid of that aggression. We saw what happened in 2020 when they brought out the guns and they killed so many people, injured people. So a lot of people most likely are afraid to die. But what I just have to say is, this life that you are living already, you're dying away already. You know, there is no point of being afraid and just thinking, oh, you want to continue to manage. We're going nowhere anyway. So you might as well just step out. So that is my take. I hope that more people can find the courage to come out more, because we need to come out. We need to step out more.
Now, Fawaz, elections are in a few months' time, in January. And how do we move beyond this cycle of discussing? How do we elevate the level of our politics, the quality of our discussion beyond discussing personalities, and also beyond those basic Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Like, okay, we're going to clear drainage, we're going to fix roads, because I'm sure since when you were a child, that's what you've been hearing. And if you go back to Reading, that you were a few years ago, if you go back there today, you will see visible differences and progress. But it's almost like we're stuck in the same rut. And it can't be a democracy if it's not changing lives for the better. So how do we hold our politicians accountable when they start knocking on our doors? Campaign season is going to open in August. What questions should we ask them, and how do we elevate the level of discussion beyond say no to vote buying and this really basic Maslow's hierarchy of needs, food, clothing, shelter?
I think, first of all, we need to pay more attention to all the different representatives of us in government. The president is just one person, but there's several other positions being vied for. The legislators, who are very, very important. And as the Constitution stands, the legislative arm of government is supposed to be a big check to the executive arm, which of course is the presidency. But of course, the kind of legislature that we've had for this first term of this administration have, of course, just been like a rubber stamp. They haven't shown themselves to be ready to represent the people. But this is another thing that we need to do. We need to be constantly holding our lawmakers accountable. We need to constantly call them. Their details are out there. We need to email them. But even before that point, as the elections are coming, we need to ask, what are you going to do for your people? What are your political... I feel like we're also running... we're also just looking at individuals without really looking at what they stand for. What's your political ideology? What's your manifesto like? What do you plan for people? Why should I elect you? What do you intend to do when you get into office? How do you intend to serve? Do you understand the meaning of service? Because most people occupying public position do not know the meaning of service. They think they're doing us a favor. And most times, when you try to hold them accountable, the reaction is unbelievable. I remember when things started to get really bad with insecurity, I called my senator and I asked him, I said, this is becoming unbearable. What is going on? What are you doing to help the situation? And his reaction was wild. He said, there's a committee set up for that. I'm not a part of the committee. Don't call me and don't disturb me. And he just cut the call.
Wow.
And I was wowed by that, because how are you the one serving me and you're acting like I'm disturbing your life? But I think more people need to be calling them, need to be emailing them, because there's they have nowhere to run to. This is the job that you've taken up. And if you do not understand public service, if you do not understand what you're supposed to be doing, then you have to leave the place.
Wow. Okay. There are too many other angles that I want to look at, but I don't think that we will have this conversation without looking at the current state of reality in Nigeria, as well as a very, very obvious big story that's trending in Nigeria, the Gbagagate, so what they've termed the Gbagagate. And this controversy has generated widespread debate about governance and accountability. There's an allegation of this agency existing. Presidency says it's not existing, it's fraudulent, but we can see it as a line item in the budget. Let's just get your general thoughts on, what picture it paints about us as a nation, or what it tells us about where we are.
It sounds wild. It sounds wild. And yes, we will say, let's wait until everything has been decided. They've said they're going to go to court, and, they've said all that. But, a couple things kind of give it away. It's a given. Like you said, it's the line item in the budget. There was an office, there were accounts with the central bank associated with this agency, and you claim that they forged your signature for this agency. You claim that you did not know anything about this. But even if that were to be true, that is very questionable for you as a government. How has this passed under your nose? How has this been allowed to happen in front of you? It's a bit wild. If you ask me, from all the facts presented, it is almost wild to assert that they knew nothing about it. It is quite wild. But I think with this administration, nothing is surprising anymore. Nothing is surprising anymore. They've shown themselves unwilling to do anything for the people. They've shown themselves only willing to focus on lining their own pockets and just operating with impunity.
Okay. My final question would come from the music aspect and, of course, governance. Right now, we can still remember a popular song done by African China, "We Still Will Remain Evergreen."
In 2000, I believe, 26 years
way
later.
Back, still on. You also remember songs done by other very old musicians. It seems like activism through music is dying out. Everyone is focusing on, let me quickly grab what I can get. I'd like you to look into that. What do you think is the future for activism through music? You may be the last Mohican, if I can put it that way, still pushing that process. And then what do you think about Davido's recent statement as well? The outfit and talking about the kidnapped children. Two questions in one.
Yeah, starting from the latter, I think it was a good message. I think, however you can lend a voice, you should. He might not get in the studio, record a song like I would, but if he's sending a strong message with the jacket he's wearing, if he's collaborating with the fashion designer to pass a message on stage, it's a huge stage at the end of the day. A lot of people are getting to see that, and if he's calling awareness to that, I think it's a good statement. And which is another thing I was trying to say earlier on as well. Everybody might not be able to jump in the studio and record a song, but we have a voice. Whatever we can do to lend that voice to this cause, it is essential. We can't just say, oh, let's leave it to the activists. We should all be activists. Do I think it's a dying art? I don't think so. I think there will be times like this where it looks bleak, where it looks tough, where it looks rough, where it looks like it's just this guy. But there will be another and another and another. And the more people start to realize the sort of responsibility that we have as artists, the more people will start to lend their voices. So I do not think it's a dying art. I think it will continue for generations to come.
Indeed. Final words. Talk to the young people. You talked about religious sentiment, politicians whipping tribal sentiment, and all the various things that they used to manipulate at the polls. I want you to, at this point, for the next 15, 20 seconds, to please address young Nigerians and even the older generation as well. As we count down the months to the election, what do you have to say?
Speaking of religious sentiments, we saw a video where the almighty Pastor Ehilebo was stating that there's nothing that Tinubu can do about insecurity, that he has given the order, well, do you expect him to go and wear khaki and go there? And as long as he has given the order, there's nothing he can do. I think we need to start to see the irresponsibility in these people. We need to start to see the refusal to take accountability in these people. These people are ordinary men. We need to stop worshipping so-called men of God because they are a big part of the rot. We need to wake up and smell the coffee. Nobody is going to come and save you from above. You need to stand up by yourself and save yourself. We are the most prayerful country in the world, but now we suffer pass. When do we think that prayer is going to be answered? It's not by prayer, it's not by going to church, it's not by listening to the man of God, it's by standing up for yourselves. And that's what we need to do. That is what we need to get in our skulls ASAP.
The second part of my question was about the tribal sentiment as well, because we will soon start seeing it. The names will start popping up and people's state of origin will soon become a conversation starter. I wanted you to please speak to that.
Yeah, I think it's actually crazy that in 2026, that is still a possibility. The fact that they can still whip up tribal sentiments and still convince you that there's this man that is, because it's from your side, you think that him being in office will favor you. It does not make a difference if it's a Yoruba man, a Hausa man, an Igbo man, or an Ishekiri man, or an Urobo man that's in office. It makes no sense that you're voting based on tribal sentiments. It should be based on merit. Is this person capable for the job? Is this person able to do what they're supposed to do? That is all I should be concerned about. And we shouldn't be listening to anybody trying to make you feel guilty or trying to whip up any tribal sentiments. That should not be allowed. This is 2027. It should not be happening in this day and age. Please, I beg.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Falz.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and we look forward to engaging you in the nearest future.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Oof, quite an intense and necessary conversation we've had there regarding the state of the nation. And like he said, I really like that line, we should all be activists.
And people should know that their music is powerful. While you're doing your body is meat pie, you have music as a weapon. Fela said it. I'll tell you a story. I was in Chile's Central Pacific region. I went for a World Music Festival with Seun Kuti many years ago, and in a stadium, they were singing Fela verbatim in the middle of nowhere in Chile. So just to show you how powerful music is. So don't think your voice is, no one is listening. You do have the weapon and the power in your hands to change the narrative. Okay. This is where we bring you breakfast headlines. Oliver Modi will be bringing you breakfast headlines with a very sonorous voice this Friday, just to ease you into the weekend mood. So good luck with that.
Thank you, my learned colleague. You're welcome to Breakfast Headlines. Thank you for watching. I am Olive MOD, and we begin this hour with the House of Representatives calling on the federal government to adopt stronger diplomatic measures against South Africa over renewed xenophobic attacks, alleged extrajudicial killings, and the reported persecution of Nigerians and other African nationals. The resolution followed a motion of urgent public importance, with lawmakers insisting that Nigeria can no longer remain silent despite years of diplomatic engagement. Meanwhile, 282 Nigerians, including 12 infants, arrived at the Murtala Muhammed International Airport in Lagos aboard an Air Peace evacuation flight, the fourth repatriation operation organized amid the worsening attacks on the foreign nationals in South Africa. And now speaking on flood, the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission has called on the federal government to increase funding for flood mitigation in hydroelectric power producing communities, saying the current intervention fund is inadequate. Speaking during a 3-day management consultative meeting in Ilorin, Kwara State, Managing Director Abubakar Yelwa said the commission requires greater financial support to address the growing impact of flooding on vulnerable communities. The meeting brought together state coordinators and area officers to review ongoing projects, strengthen coordination, and improve the implementation of development programs across the commission's mandate states. The Nigerian Immigration Service has indefinitely suspended the operations of Online Integrated Solutions, the company managing Nigeria's visa application centers in the United States. The directive took effect from July 1st and will remain in force until further notice. The suspension affects visa application submissions by prospective travelers and Nigerians living in the United States. Applicants are now required to submit their visa requirements and requests directly at the Embassy of Nigeria in Washington, D.C., on the Consulates General in New York and Atlanta. The Immigration Service clarified that the directive applies only to visa application processing at Nigerian diplomatic missions in the United States and does not affect other immigration or consular services. Let's now come back to Nigeria. Here in Kogi State, Governor Usman Ododo has renewed calls for a review of Nigeria's revenue allocation formula, arguing that the state has not received a fair share from the Federation account despite its oil and gas production status, vast solid mineral deposits, and growing economic activities. The governor made the case as officials of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission commenced its fiscal data verification exercise in the state. The governor said the nationwide exercise presents an opportunity to correct long-standing imbalances in the country's fiscal system, arguing that inaccurate or accurate data, on public schools, healthcare facilities, and internally generated revenue should form the basis for a more equitable sharing of national resources among states.
As far as Kogi State is concerned, we have been shortchanged for long. We have, for example, we have oil, we have gas. This, we don't have value for it from the Federation. I will not say from your commission, from the Federation. We are producing, but we don't have the accurate record. So please, we want you to help us to look into the record so that it can continue to count for us.
If you put it as part of the indices that how many states are you ordered? So those that order 11 will be able to get more money because those who are our neighbor, by the time we are doing well, there is peace, they are also going to sleep well.
We are not unaware of challenges of Kogi State. We know Kogi is strategic in this country, confluence states, and we know you have special needs.
Kogi State will be treated like every other state in the Federation. We appreciate the leadership of the team leader, the commitment of all team members. We also appreciate the support of His Excellency Alhaji Usman.
The African Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has described the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo as the fastest growing ever recorded. The warning comes as authorities intensify surveillance and response efforts to contain the disease. Congo reported new suspected Ebola cases Thursday in previously unaffected provinces as the death toll from the latest outbreak rises to 600, with the country recording 1,759 confirmed cases. Health officials say the current outbreak is expanding more rapidly than previous epidemics caused by the Budimbuyo strain or any other Ebola virus variant. Stay safe. We hope that everyone's keeping well. We'll continue to bring you updates regarding Ebola as well as other stories. We'll now continue with Breakfast Central. This is all that we have for Breakfast Headlines. The show continues in a moment. Thank you for watching. My name is Olive Emodi and we'll be returning to bring you the newspaper reviews. Please stay with us.
Thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. It's time for the front pages of the newspapers. We do have international journalist of repute, Mr. Habib Aruna, joining us. Good morning, Mr. Habib, and thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. It's great to have you as always. We have so many things to talk about, but before we get into the newspaper headlines, this is also a matter of particular concern that will concern many Nigerians as News Central TV continues its tour of Ogun State to assess the rehabilitation, road rehabilitation. Our crew has arrived at Aro Lambo, a severely neglected community in the Ifo local government area. This long stretch leading to Okaro is currently in a deplorable state, leaving thousands of commuters stranded with no sign of immediate government intervention. Residents lament that severe flooding, unchecked erosion and deep craters have turned the vital economic route into a nightmare, completely paralyzing local transit during the rainy season. News Central's correspondent Lekan Onobanjo is live at the scene with the details. Good morning, Lekan, from rainy Ogun State this morning. What's the situation out there?
Of course, it is raining, but then the job must be done. As you said, we are currently at Arolambo, which is actually a major, one of the communities, one of the border communities that is actually bordering Lagos State. Now, this particular road, if you look straight down to the far end, leads to Okearo, and Okearo takes us into Lagos. But then when you look further, I'm just going to tell the cameraman to pan. This particular road, going this way, leads to Matogun, and Matogun takes us to Lambe Junction and Lambe inside. Now, this of course, this particular area is a community where you have lots of businesses, lots of residents, and even Nigerians who work on the island. A lot of them stay in this particular area because, of course, because of cheap rent. But let's talk to some of those who actually operate here as road transporters, commuters, and residents, even business owners, even as they share their thoughts with us as regards how bad this road is. There's a lot of potholes, there's a lot of flood. When rain falls in this area, it becomes totally impassable. Okay, good morning, sir. Let's just talk to you, sir. So you're actually live on New Central Television. English or Yoruba? What's your name, sir?
My name is Ali Ndume.
Okay, so what do you do here actually?
I'm one of Union, Akomora Union.
Okay, so tell us, this particular road, how bad is it, and since when has it been this way?
The road is very, very bad, and we need government to assist us on the road. If you look at the road, everywhere is tattered. You understand? So we need government. We need the help of government. So,
for how many years has this road been this way?
The road it has been long like this. So please help us to talk to the government about the road.
Has there been any efforts whatsoever, either by community members or local governments?
Exactly. Community, they are trying for the road. So far, they are trying. So we need government to assist us.
So what about cars and bike riders, how they commute? Because I know that there is a particular mini bridge there, and when this place is flooded, it can be quite terrible. I'd like you to describe the situation for commuters along this road.
This our bridge here is community effort. They are trying. Like this now, the road is bad more than this before. Like 10 years back, it's very bad. But now community their effort is okay. They are trying. But the only problem that we have, this road, government, I hear that the road is already done,
okay.
But not like that. It's still the way is since like 15 years back.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So the road is actually, or the bridge is actually referring to, is down that line. The cameraman can pan. So there's a mini bridge there done by community members. Now, this particular bridge, when there's a heavy flood in this area, that particular bridge becomes impassable, and it's usually overwhelmed by flood. So most times, what community members do, or commuters do, is that they try to navigate through inner feeder roads, through inner streets, to link up with another community down at the power line at the extreme end there to get to Okearo. So that is how they've been managing during the rainy season. So I'm going to take you to another person who is also willing to share his thoughts with us as regards how bad this road is. So they have also been complaining about government negligence, but then it seems as though things will remain this way if the government does not attend to them. Please, sir, can you please come? We are live on camera. Please come, sir. So, kí lorúkọ yín sir? Mahmoud Anifun.
Mr. Adisa.
Ṣé ẹ̀ ń ṣiṣẹ́ níbí àbẹ́ ń gbé ń bí?
Mo ń gbé ń bí ni.
Àtìgbà ọlẹ́ tí ń gbé ń bí?
Mo ti wà mẹ́ta tó 15 years to this time.
So láti gbà tẹ́tí gbé bí títí dì ìsìn, kí ni nǹkan tẹ́ lè sọ nípa ọ̀nà yìí? Ṣé wọ́n ti ṣe nǹkan kan nípa ẹ̀ láti ẹ̀ ti lè jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn kọ́ máa lọ kọ́ máa bọ̀ nírọ̀wọ́rọ̀sẹ̀?
Tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé wọ́n ṣe lóòótọ́ but kò tí wọ́n ti ṣe bí wọ́n ṣe dí. Wọ́n ti ṣe wọ́n ti ṣe dí ara ọ̀nà ẹ̀ bàjẹ́ gan.
Báwo ló ṣe bàjẹ́ sí ẹ ṣàlàyé?
Àwọn tó lómátò ńláńlá kan tó lómátò káàkọ̀ kan mọ́ra wọn àlè kọjá mi máa pàṣẹ sókè àrùkọ tó wọ́n sádùúgbò yìí ni kò dẹ̀ kú débẹ̀ rárá. Àwọn ọlọ́kadà gan wọ́n lo panadol extra tọ́ba ṣọ́ra dẹ́ kò dẹ̀ kó panadol bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Àwọn táwọn fẹsẹ̀ ní kó àpapọ̀ máa ń dilẹ̀ mú ni àwọn fẹsẹ̀ múlẹ̀ ká ló kọjá ni. Dájẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ àmàlàdúmọ̀lẹ̀ ìjọba bá ṣubú àmàdìdé ni. Bí ẹ kó wà nìyẹn.
Nígbà òjò ńkọ́ bí bójú ṣe ń rọ ìbáà ní bí ṣe máa rí.
Ibi ò ṣe wọ̀ rárá. Nígbà òjò báyìí kò ṣe wọ̀ rárá o. Ní ká máa fẹsẹ̀ múlẹ̀ dáadáa o. Mọ́tò kan máa takú síbi lọ́dọ̀ ìmọ̀ yìí ọ̀nà táyì láì dán rárá tó jù bá pọ̀ ń gbà mí. Kọ́ ṣàánú àwa náà kọ́ ṣàánú aládùúgbò yìí.
Okay, Eshegon. This a bike man, and he daily commutes, and of course he makes do with this particular area when he's carrying passengers. So he will also be sharing his thoughts with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's your name, sir?
Victor.
So I know you're a bike man, or probably you walk around here. But tell us, moving around with a bike on this road, how would you describe the experience?
It's very, very dangerous. It's too much. If you watch, you see my bike on average 5 months now. Look the bike. Therefore, I wash them. See the way they've been. From Okaro to Matogun, or no way. The place where they carry 500 before, now it's 1,000. All the motor don't park. Or push. The thing is very, very dangerous. We need government to come and help us for this road. All the people get motor, all of them don't park. They are transport. If reach Okaro now, I train there for now. No way going, no way coming back.
How do you navigate that portion of road that is flooded?
Now one woman be the airport to do the place. Now they don't tire the woman now because of the rain. All the thing when the woman do now, or erosion don't carry and go. That is it.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, earlier on, the man who spoke in Yoruba said that most times car owners would have to park their cars at a very, very far place. So that is what a lot of people are actually going through in Arolambo under Ifo local government, of course, in Ogun State. It's back to the studios.
Thank you so much, Leko. Very, very detailed coverage there. It's quite sad to note that the people of Ogun State have been crying for the past years, almost 8 years, under the leadership of the current administration. And what we hear is we're working. We did see videos of the governor, taking some investors when they came into the office. I remember I talked about that story when he sat at the round table and he said, listen, we're fixing roads. And the indigents, yes, and the indigents have been saying it's just showmanship. You keep going with showmanship. We've not seen
just
anything.
One side. I mean, you don't even want to start. I think Lekon was in around the Otta area for a state that borders Lagos.
No, that is Akuti side.
No, I'm saying, yesterday was at Otta.
Yeah.
And you need to see the mess there, the state of the roads there.
Something else.
I mean, Ogun State should have partnered with Lagos with this train system. People live in Ogun State and work in Lagos. You should take advantage of the proximity to the economic nerve center of the country. But no, look at the state of the roads. This is disgraceful. It's almost like there's no government presence there. And month after month, they get FAC allocation to the state government and all the federating units. You have reps, you have local government chairmen. How do you allow this road to be in this state for years? It's quite unfortunate, and I must come. And
how do you go back to campaign?
Spotlighting exactly. What issues?
To the citizens to campaign.
And then the shocker is they would win again.
Ogun State has been very unlucky.
Very, very unlucky.
In terms of governance, in terms of governors. Right, for the past 20 years, look at the series of actually they've been facing. The governors that have ruled that state, they've not been particularly impressive, in my view. Because if you look at Lagos, There was a time my Governor Bode commissioned about 21 link roads, around Alimosho side.
Quality roads that still stand the test of time.
If you are leaving Lagos, you will know you are leaving Lagos to a new state. And Abuja is not poor.
All right.
Abuja is not poor. It's just that they are not getting their priority right. That is the problem. You need to go after Akute, you want to move towards Lambe. You will not believe you are in Nigeria.
I know. I've been there.
But at the same time, people build indiscriminately without government approval. Now we're not going to come and do your road for you.
Let's go on a break. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the newspapers right away. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's go straight to the front pages of the newspapers. Well done to Lekon Obanjo there, covering the roads, poor road networks in Ogun State there. But let's go straight to the very first paper we'll be looking at this morning. Let's have it right there on the screen. Our first paper will definitely focus on the Nigerian Tribune. Let's look at the Nigerian Tribune this morning. I'm just going to read through it. Yes, state police governors seek fiscal judicial reforms. State policing requires tactical precision, not political emotion. Ex-CDS Irabo says. Irabo is kind of like making it clear that, listen, it's not about politics. Don't bring politics into state police. You must get it right. U.S. publishes names, photos of 124 Nigerians facing deportation over criminal convictions. I think we should just go straight to the story and get you to react. I'd like us to go straight to alleged 15 million naira corruption. Ex-CCT chairman Danladi Umar remanded in Kuje. What say you about Senate approving 404 billion naira police trust fund budget for 2025-2026, and then you now have the state police, and then you also have the insecurities. Like, money is coming out, but security is not dying. Insecurity is not dying.
The thing is becoming contentious. This issue of state police, and it will become a recurrent thing in the nearest future. And we have to fine-tune it to make it work. Yesterday there was a town hall meeting organized by this day yesterday on Arise News.
Okay.
And governors were there. And of course, they wanted to defend their own interests about that they need more money to make it work. Now, as I said, the money they've been receiving, what are they doing with it? But more importantly is the fact that there was an unanimity at the forum yesterday that governors are the one that will make it work or not. Either they make it work, want it to work, the governor will be responsible or not. And people are saying that already the governors have enough money in their kitty. So what are they asking for again? But the governors are saying that they need more money, and they also need judicial cover, to make this new experiment work. But my own view is that the framers of the bill, they succeeded in making it easier for Nigeria to find solace in court if there's an abuse by this bill, by this law, by the state governors. So I think it's for us to just start. But the former chief of defense staff also said yesterday that we have police formations across the country, in the states, local government, and even the communities. What are they looking for again? That what is now left is to fine-tune these things
and make them effective.
And make them effective.
He's right. That's always
yes. No matter the law, no matter how beautiful the law is, the people implementing it, if they fail to do the right thing, we always have problems. But I think us stakeholders, we have a stake in all this. The media, the politicians, citizens, to make sure the state police.
I hope Ogun State
for us, because we are the main debate.
Some money left for state police after fixing all these roads. Or maybe they can come and borrow from Lagos PD.
So the roads are very bad in Ogun State.
there's INEC. Let's look at the same paper.
But before we look at the paper, I just want to mention to our audience that we're streaming live on YouTube. If you want to react to any of the stories, just go to News Central TV Live and I'll take your comments. Please go ahead.
Parties race to upload candidates on INEC portal as submission ends tomorrow.
You mean they are in cyber cafe now? Johansson or House of Rep?
No.
They are typing fancy.
I don't know why they are in a hurry. I don't know why they are.
Well, INEC delayed them to
focus on other things.
The law is very clear. They conducted primaries. Winners emerged. Why? Because they haven't put the problem because the parties as national headquarters were substituting the names. And INEC is saying that any name that you include that we did not see an impartial and credible primaries, we not allow it.
But let's
and APC is having problem with INEC now because INEC is telling them that you are substituting these names at the national headquarters. And names that have already been decided, names that have been decided. You know, so that
because they had officials monitor some of those primaries too.
Political parties are supposed to be the vehicle that people use to consummate their ambitions. You know, but this party is now being used to manipulate and bring out things that are contrary to what happened at the primaries. So why are they rushing? They're rushing to go and to upload their names.
It's deadline. Deadline is tomorrow.
And say at least let's put something there.
Let's put something there. The thing is that, is it fair? Is it even fair? We did have APC members join us, was it 2 days ago? Yeah. And they said we should not, let's not interfere. It's a party issue.
They know how they will settle their matter.
Those who won are crying foul that, listen, I won, it was clear.
Substituted.
And it seems like they really don't know where they stand now until tomorrow. So the portal is being heavily loaded. What if they log on tomorrow and then they see Benga Borowa? Instead of seeing Oliver Modi there, how would they feel?
So what we are saying is Bole Kaja politics.
Calm down, let's fight.
Calm down, let's fight.
They're not helping the institutions, they're not helping democracy.
And the quality of...
What you do it now because you are in charge. But next time you're not in charge.
President.
Work against you. And that is why leaders who have foresight, who have vision, who are pragmatic, they build institutions. And enduring institutions that will last, that will enduring. Not now our politicians here. They want something that is immediate. Yes, I'm in charge now. I will do it this way. No, cannot work that way. I just hope that INEC will be assertive and insist that they should follow the process. And I just feel that that's what INEC should do. You know, because I can't win primaries now. My local government in Edo. And I'm going to Abuja to check. Say my name has been replaced.
After all the money you spent.
You cannot work that way.
I mean,
after the money I borrowed, my wife reason that I use my money to contest. You're not telling me that my name is on the portal. My name is on the list. You know, so you cannot work that way. And I should insist on following the law and the constitution.
Okay,
let's move to another paper. The next paper that we have this morning, if our producers can please share with us. The Observer Time. Okay, let's use Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera says, violation of right to life tops 326,113 complaints, the National Human Rights Council says. Wow.
This is massive.
But just so we have an idea of what violation of right to life is it people that have been killed, people who have had their lives taken from them without their consent, by extrajudicial means, or through insecurity.
Near-death experience.
Harassment, intimidation.
Okay, the writer there says, 1 year after Yelwata massacre, survivors remain displaced, living in overcrowded conditions with limited access to food, clean water, and medical care, which is kind of what we highlighted with our new central town hall in Katsina. The quality of life that Nigerians are living, people who have been stripped of their dignity to the right of human person. It's just terrible. 70% of 16 years abandoned projects completed, Wike says. CVR, INEC disowns fake website, warns against PVC delivery scam. Hey, we have found another one too now again. IMF retains 4.1% economic growth for Nigeria. Federal government raises alarm over rising healthcare costs.
That is a good news, though. It's a positive one for the federal government.
Yes.
Which one? Well, that's the IMF came out with
4.1% economic growth.
A lot of all the countries in the world. And Nigeria appears to have a positive report at the IMF. So kudos to the federal government. And I hope the economic growth and surpluses will percolate to the masses. Because the masses are not feeling it. It just figure as far as they're concerned.
Exactly.
They should feel it.
It should have an impact on
They should, absolutely. On resolved issues, medical academics serve federal government 21-day strike notice. We're back to the matter. Xenophobia, reps seek review of relations with South Africa, and police arrest man for allegedly killing father in Rivers. What has become of us as a society?
It's what you highlighted earlier.
I think the reps stand on this the xenophobic attacks.
Yes, I was going to come to you.
Yes,
my question is, everybody is now talking into the ears of the federal government. Whose position should hold sway? Who should make the decision on how to deal with the South Africans? Is it the
I was thinking
Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the federal government?
There is a standing committee.
Yes.
In House of Reps and Senate. Standing committee on foreign affairs. Foreign affairs. Their responsibility, primarily, in my view, should be to summon Bianca Ojukwu to the House to come and face them. The media will be there. And they should ask Bianca Ojukwu what is going on. But I learned that some Nigerians have been killed.
Yes.
It is at that kind of forum, both House of Reps and Senate, that we have directly from the Minister of Foreign Affairs what the government is doing about it.
An update on it.
Because I don't think we are doing enough. I don't think so. The government statement is not strong enough. We're not coming out enough to defend our people. Yes, the government is trying, repatriating Nigerians who are stranded, who wants to come home. Not everybody who indicated their interest to come back home. That we are helping them, but the federal government of Nigeria has not been able to come out with a strong statement,
especially
condemning strongly what is going on in South Africa against Nigerians.
I mean, especially when you
it's not good enough. It's not tidy enough.
The Ghanaian response. The Ghanaian response is very hard.
House of Reps, Senate,
yes,
committees on foreign relations should summon Bianca Ojukwu to tell Nigerians what they are doing. What they are doing to prevent attacks on Nigerians and to be sure that those things are not repeated in the future.
Okay, I want to quickly move so that we can touch 3 papers. Observer Times, I will still come back to the first paper we took because I saw a story there that I'd like to take. Observer Times front page says, stop using state institutions to settle political scores. Kwankwaso blasts federal government over Obi and El Rufai. We also have their party's race to upload candidates to INEC portal as submission ends tomorrow. Commission to publish particulars of Presidential National Assembly candidates August 1st. Upload of Governorship State Assembly candidates begin July 18. E-cigarettes can cause lung and oral cancers, say researchers. As we are entering into the weekend.
I want Gen Z. I want some vaping. I want water vapor.
that is what fella calls. Now old news be that. Now old news be that. Don't hear that before. It's written boldly, very explicitly in the packet. They even show the lung.
And somebody's mouth.
Smoking.
Cancer.
So, bros, they know my thing. Don't like say, I should not drink that, we die. Bros, I can't stop drinking.
Wow. Okay.
I can't do less than it.
Ndume Tinubu says security situation improving. Alleged 15 million naira corruption. Ex-CCT chairman Danladi Umar remanded in Kuje.
Is that not Mr. Hadesreka on the front page?
I won't betray Nigerians' trust. I won't betray Nigeria's trust. Reform will deliver better future, says Tinubu. He says the sacrifice is laying foundation for future generations. At the top of the paper. Oh, no. Okay.
There are 2 stories there.
Yes, so there's the countryman's ex-CCT chair, Danladi Umar, over alleged abuse of office, and Nigerian soldiers now earn 100,000 naira monthly salary, says Defense Minister.
Yeah, and even in this story, it's also important.
Yes.
Because if government is using state institutions to do scores, to intimidate,
but would that even ever stop?
No, we see, the one thing we should know, ever been in government, it's possible that the president is not even aware what is going on.
Nigerian soldiers earn 100,000.
That's what I'm saying. That money to me is a very small stipend. Very small.
I mean, converted to dollars and it gives you an idea of...
These are guys facing... They can die at any moment. Maybe they have allowances that we don't know about. But this take-home pay to me is too little.
And you know what's even wild? That if we reached out to a soldier, they can't come to speak about this. They can't tell us the honest truth about how much they're earning. If 100,000 naira is all they're earning to put their lives on the line, to sacrifice themselves. Their wives could be potential widows, their children could become potentially fatherless. What is the position of life insurance?
That's not good enough.
Is this good enough?
And they're even saying it publicly. So that is condemnable. Then the other one, I talk about this.
How much is the senator earn?
That lady was the man in charge.
Of course.
Nobody was in power.
Yes.
We visited him once or twice in Abuja when I was CPS to Ambode.
Oh, okay.
You know, because all of us must declare our assets and send to his office. It was too powerful. Well, now what is happening? If they have operated within the ambits and auspices of the law would have protected him. But now he's vulnerable. But they need to do the right thing. So
same with El Rufai.
Yes, they should always do the right thing. If you don't do the right thing, you will be the law will haunt you when you leave office. You know, that is what we are saying now. A very powerful man.
Kai.
Now inside Kuje prison. It's a lesson to these people in power, but they will not learn. That is the unfortunate thing.
No, they feel it will never happen to them.
They will not learn. Okay. What's raising alarm is understood. You know, if it's true or not, the government should address it. The government has a responsibility of protecting the opposition. People like Peter Obi.
Yes.
They should be protected.
I don't know if you saw that interview.
Don't talk like that. You know, if the allegations are true or not, the court agencies, they have a duty to protect opposition leaders. Atiku Abubakar, Amechi, Peter Obi, Akwaso. They should have protection. Not asking for it. That is what the law.
So, and this response to the viral video that was making the rounds on social media about Peter Obi saying he doesn't know if he'll be alive to contest 2027 elections and that the government is frustrating everything that he sets his hand to do. So I think that answers that. We're out of time, Absolutely. But I want you to speak on top left corner of the Nigerian Tribune. US publishes names, photos of 124 Nigerians facing deportation over criminal convictions. I looked at the names and the pictures, a lot of them, internet fraud, wiretapping. Why?
No, there are criminals everywhere. Olive.
Are you worried about that?
There are Indians, there are people from
Russians.
India, people from Russia, people from North Korea who are also involved in all this racket. No, but Nigerians are not left behind. You know, but America is a country of due process, the country of law. For them to have come out with this list, these people have been prosecuted and sentenced, you know, and in line with their law. Once you are convicted, you are going back to your country. Except you are an American. If you are an American, you'll be in jail. But if you have a green card, my brother, you've been in next bus, or next train, or next
back to your house.
Nigeria. So it's a normal thing. They want it to all of us, you know. And these people they've been in this thing for a long time. We read the story very well. For 7-10 years, you know, came out yesterday. Their names and pictures, you know, came out. I think it's a lesson that what we are doing here, you go scot-free. If you try it in a place where they don't joke with their laws, you'll be where
the law does not depend on nemesis.
Absolutely.
Or leave it for God.
No, face the consequences.
Or leave it.
For God.
There are consequences.
Catch you there.
If you fall back, you fall on
the you cannot blame the devil.
Absolutely, it's not possible.
Okay.
Or a witch in your village.
The police there will catch you the way Brighton Daffy is catching kidnappers.
That will not work.
I want to read a few comments on YouTube. Messi Akwete has put a number of comments. Thank you and welcome to the family, Messi Akwete. Messi says, go get your PVC. Your PVC is your power. Your PVC is your weapon. Tell someone to get their PVC. Nigeria belongs to everyone and not one man and his family. Mokuye Chukwemeka, regarding the bad roads in Ogun, he says, what have they been campaigning with since 60s? Light,
he
roads,
also said
employment, etc. If they fix all the roads, how will they campaign next time? They will leave some now.
Mokuye Chukwemeka also said that Dapo man is funny. Let's make it clear that it's not Dapo Adegboye he's talking about. He's talking about His Excellency, the Prince.
But that's all that we have this morning.
The Prince of Efizi.
Yeah, real Prince of Efizi. That's all that we have this morning on Breakfast Central. Thank you for joining us. We hope that the conversations that we've had this morning will make you pause and reflect on the role that you have to play in delivering the Nigeria of our dreams. It's not enough to fold your arms and just say that, you know, you are wishing the best for Nigeria and hoping. Hope is not a strategy. We need to put our money where our mouth is, get your PVCs, visit the website. We've been talking about it all week. And then encourage other people around you too as well. And that's my closing remark for this week. Friday.
That's all for me. Thank you so much, Mr. Bibarona, for being here. Always a pleasure having you on and off the cameras. Thank you.
Olive, what color are we doing next week?
I'll think about it. Make a suggestion for me.
Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Don't mind these learned.